Boom, boom, beat. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Welcome back to Boom Jewelry Designs, Jewelry Adventures. Quick update, guys. I have not been as prolific. Is that a big word? I haven't been as prolific and productive making the videos lately. But the reason why is I'm excited to report that I am opening a new studio space in the neighboring town where I live here in Western Colorado. Yeah, so I've been putting the house together. It's a whole house, the jewelry studio, furniture, furnishing the whole, you know how it is. Facebook Marketplace is your friends. It's just been busy putting the new space together. So I've been focusing a lot of my energy on that. So my apologies for not being as productive. I don't know if you guys miss me out there. I don't know if you guys are looking for the videos, waiting for the next one. I'm not sure. We have a nice little channel here and a lot of regular people coming back. So I want to give all you guys big shout outs and thanks for being a part of the Juanitosville community and the jewelry adventures and tutorials. And this channel really is geared towards people that are fresh in the game, you know, new in the game, and they're learning little tips and tricks and little ways just to get better faster. And really that's what this whole channel is really all about. I wouldn't say I do a lot of advanced stuff, but, you know, we've done rivets, we've done hinges, we've done clasps, we've done some stamping, we've done a little bit of everything on this channel up to this point. So if you guys have been around for the journey, thank you for hanging in there with us as we kind of progress through the fundamentals and some advanced stuff. I guess you might want to call it advanced, just more experience. Today, let's see, what are we going to work on? Ooh, you know what I've been seeing on the internet lately? In the jewelry channels, jewelry groups, people request bezels. Now here's a kind of a wild bezel I'm working on. This is what you do when you get stupider. You've been soldering for so long and smelling the burning flux that you get a little dumber. And I got this 5/8 melt, guys. 5/8 melt, has some cracks in there. It's kind of has texture-y. And then I made this bezel out of fine silver. These castellated bezels you can do out of sterling silver, but I did this one out of fine silver. And if you look at it, guys, it has a texture. I hammer textured the bezel wire and then castellated it. And then I kind of did a slope. If you guys see my videos, I like to kind of slope the top of the castellations. And this is going to be a pretty heavy duty bezel. And not everybody's going to make a piece this big. Dennis Barker, I did this with him. We're making a 2-part video of a collaboration with Dennis Barker. So yeah, that's going to be cool. But bezels. A lot of people in the groups are talking about they do their bezel wire and they can't get it to sit flat on the back plate. We're taught to not leave any gaps, to file and sand the bottom of the bezel once it's in a circle and get a nice flat fit so you don't see any gaps all the way around, and then put your flux, burn your flux off, and then you place your solder chips around the inside of the bezel. That's how you're supposed to do it, guys. You're supposed to do your very best to make it as perfect as possible, and it'll make your life easier. But some of us don't have a lot of skill, and some of us are just not very good at it. Some of us don't have the patience for it. Some of us try to maybe work a little too fast to be able to take the time to really get that perfect setting of the bezel on the back plate. So today I'm going to show you how, if your bezel is not perfect, how to get it to sit on the back plate, even if there's a little bit of a gap, how to still get it to work and be successful in the end. Now, I've done this a lot of times and it's almost always successful. This video is for if you don't have your bezel wire sitting on the back plate perfectly flat, how to still be successful in getting a nice solder seam around the bezel if it's not sitting perfectly flat. I know it's wild, and I wouldn't recommend this, but this is just from my experience, guys. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is my experience. I'm going to share with you my experience. This is not to be a lesson in silversmithing. I've never seen this. You've never seen this video before because nobody wants to make it, because it goes against the fundamental idea of working to get the bezel to sit flat so that there's no gaps. Some of us can't do that, or haven't done it, or haven't been very good at it. That's what this video is for you. Not for real silversmiths. This is for the rebels out there that are just trying to make their dreams come true. Here we go. Ready? All right, homies, we got 22 gauge. I'm gonna use this piece of sheet that I got from Rio. A lot of times I'll use a spoon. I'll roll a spoon out, I nail it, roll it out, make it flat, and I'll do it on that. The spoons are kind of wavy, so that's why I had to develop this technique. But most of us have sheet. Not most of us, but a lot of us. Guys, so we're gonna go right here. I'm just gonna do like a little bezel, a little pendant. I'm just gonna cut. When you do your bezels, guys, you don't want to do your bezel on the whole sheet, because everything has to come to temperature at the same time. And I've seen people try to do a bezel on a piece of sheet, and I was just like, man, how come nobody told them? So I'm telling you, you want to use a small piece so that the heat just works in your favor. Dang, man, you gotta put some wax on this bad boy. Put it with the blade so that you don't clog the blade teeth. Be careful right here when it's going to break through. You don't want for it to break through and slice your finger like that, like I did one time. Yeah, that ruined my day. So yeah, when you get towards the end of your saw job, and you know the blade's going to go through, make sure the blade's going to go through towards something that's going to stop it before it hits your fingers. Piece coming up right here. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I see this could be for the bail hook. That's what I call it. And then this could be like the stone fit like that on a nice cute little pendant. Because it's not about the silver really work on this project. It's really just how beautiful that stone is. And a little pendant would be a nice piece I think somebody would like. I think John Rambo, whenever in Rambo 2, when he was in the jungle, he had a pendant, a little turquoise pendant. If you guys remember, from all you old heads out there that remember Rambo 2, when he was walking through the jungle, he had a little necklace, a little choker necklace with a piece of turquoise on it. Go back and review the tape, friends. Because this is for the people, many of us, guys, have just, all we have is just regular Rio bezel strip. Some of us are making our own, but I have a video of how to make your own bezel. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to go with this 28 gauge. Now, this is not a bezel video, but if you're using 30 gauge, you probably should at least use 28 gauge, because 30 gauge is very thin. And I think it's fine for a pendant because it's not going to take a lot of abuse. But I just like the way that a 28 gauge kind of, it's a little bit thicker, just a tiny bit thicker, but it's easier to work with. Because that 30 gauge is so thin, guys. You breathe on it wrong, you're gonna be making a burrito. Now this is how somebody who's done this a lot of times still looks like I've never done it before, but you'll see. You guys with me? Did you guys block me yet? I could show you guys the no math way of measuring. Like if you're gonna do castellated, you don't want to bend it in a circle before you start your castellation. So you have to do a no math way of measuring your bezel wire. So when you do your bezel wire, friends, I was always taught not to put the bezel seam on a pointy end or on a corner. Try to find a nice flat place to do to make your bezel seam. You do that, you'll be all right. Just makes your life easier. I don't know exactly why, it's just what I was taught. Usually when it comes to fundamentals, I really go by what I was taught. We start getting into like certain special kind of things, I'll go a little rogue. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, sometimes you're doing stuff you've never seen before. And you have to improvise, and you have to really just think, you know, think what works. One thing that I do think that works is always more material than not enough. You want to err on the side of leaving some more material. Because I always say, you can't go to the barber and say, hey bro, can you add a little on the sides? If you guys know my style, once you get it right here, friends, I used my flat nose to just give it a flat face. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you cut it with the shears, almost every time you cut it with the shears, it's going to warp it a little bit. If you guys can see that. We're going to go to the soldering block. I'm going to put some hard solder on that. All right, jewelry enthusiasts, psycho fire flame throwers. We are right here. This is the bezel. I've made bezels with, I think, 17 gauge before. Because I rolled it myself. Okay guys, so I put the flux. Lately I've been noticing, guys, if I get one of these guys, one of these little dudes, you can buy them in a pack of 6. You keep the cap on it, and it never gets clogged. I got this one from Rio, and it was like the second one that I got. And bro, this gets clogged. I don't know what the hell this product is that they're using, but it's either I'm hard on these things or they just don't work very well for me. So this is what I'm talking about. Keeps it from clogging up. You have to replace it every time, but it's worth it in the long run because I spent more time trying to unclog the other one. So I cooked the flux off. I'm gonna go with hard solder. I keep my solder in 2 bowls. The gray bowl is the hard solder bowl. And I recommend anybody out there, develop a habit of separating your solders in a convenient way that works for you. That's my public service announcement for the day. Put a little, probably 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter pallion, I learned what it's called, of solder onto the seam. And I'm going to use a number 3 head to do this. I almost exclusively use the number 3 head. So we're going to practice with this one. I get a flame looking about that big. You guys with me? It could be very small, as long as there's a little bit of blue. Feel that? Then we're going to go right here. I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to feather underneath. I'm going to feather. I'm trying to get both sides of the seam hot at the same time. Boom. Just like that, man. You see what I'm saying, man? I ain't playing with you. I don't give you the bull junk, man. I'm not going to give you the bull junk. Quench it like a smart person. Take a look at it. Let's look so you guys think I'm not bull junking. Don't know that I'm not. Got the bezel. Hard solder. Not a bad job. On the inside, this is what it looks like on the inside. We'll clean it up. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm going to clean it up, and then we'll really look at it so you can see how that little piece of solder, what it did. My acid was unplugged, so this is it right here. It was cold acid, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like on the inside and what it looks like on the outside. So you guys know it's for realsies. You know what I mean? I sanded it with 320, then I sanded it with 400. And we're at 400 right now, and I'm just getting the major pieces off. I don't think I was recording, but what I was talking about is this is the time you want to take just to make sure there's no scratches, because once you get the bezel on there, you're not going to be able to really sand around that bezel without knocking the bezel over, pushing the bezel over, deforming the bezel, and just kind of making your life hard. So you want to take some extra time early right here to do this. I could probably cut this off right here, and I probably will. Johnny, okay. Sure you're feeling good. You want that bezel to be a nice fit, but not so tight that you're not going to be able to get it in there. Now, if you look at that, I got a little space around. It's going to be good. It could potentially be just a little bit smaller, but I'm going to be okay with that. Because in my experience, I just know it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. Okay, right here, friends. We're going to put that on there like that. And as I'm looking at this, let's get this out of the way. As I'm looking at this, it's not flat. just like I said it wasn't going to be. Now, what I'm going to do, no matter what, is I'm going to take some 400 and take the bottom of this bezel. Sometimes what I do, friends, to remember where the top and the bottom is I'll put an arrow. Or I'll put a dot towards... I do an arrow. I know that arrow, that's top. So then I go here. It's good to use a brand new piece, but when you're a hobo like me, you use one that has wrinkles in it. Just do circles. I've seen people do figure eights. I do a little bit of both. Switch it up, you know, so you don't get bored, so you don't block yourself, so you don't unfriend yourself. I wonder if anybody's reported themselves for violating community standards. I bet if you want to do that, you don't have to wait too long on the phone. Because I assume there's like one call center, and then all the lines are for people that are turning other people in. And there's a phone line, or maybe a couple, for people returning themselves in. And I bet nobody's calling that line. So if you called, they probably would answer on the first ring. That's all I'm saying, friends. That's all I'm saying. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're feeling good. We're feeling fly. We're feeling fly, friends. Are you feeling fly? I'm feeling fly. Here we go. Woo! I'm starting to get a little bit excited. Okay, let's go to the soldering block, and we're going to look at this. Well, let's just do it now, since you're here. Let's look at how this is sitting, guys. I don't know if you can see. It's sitting pretty dang flat. It's sitting pretty dang flat. And sometimes it is. But there's a little gap. I'm not going to kill myself on it, because that's not the point. The point is to figure it out on the fly. So let's go over to the soldering spot, and I'll show you how it's done. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Oh man, I'm recording. We're going to put it on this. I have a genius wire. I'm not sure where it is. And what is the genius wire, Benny? What is this genius wire you speak of? Well, I haven't used copper before, but I have a piece of steel wire that I just kind of bend. Should we see if we can use copper? Use this piece of half round copper. This is the first time I've ever done this. I don't know how smart it is or if it's dumb, but we're going to try it. Quick, this type of solder job is going to take medium solder. So we did hard solder. We did hard solder on the bezel wire. And now to place the bezel onto the back plate, we're going to use medium. So I put 3 drops, and then I go like this. I'm just going to make a little circle. It gets the flux all the way around on both sides of your bezel wall. You want a nice... We're going to go medium right here, friends. We're going to go ahead and heat this up. I put pallions of solder on the inside of the bezel wall, but if you have some wire solder, use wire solder. Wire solder butts up against the wall of the bezel and the back plate very nicely. So if you have little sticks of it, you can just cut little sticks of it and just put it. I like to, if I have some, I'll use some long skinny guys. Sometimes I have a couple of those in my solder bowl. Okay, we're going to put 2 long skinny ones right there. If you can get the bend of it to go back, you're good. So we're just use regular pallion. That's 3 pieces so far. And if you know me, I always like to have one at the foot of there's a gap right there too, of the seam. So when the heat starts to pull the solder, pull on it, like tug on the solder, it won't tug out of the seam. It won't take from the seam. It'll take from the foot of the seam, and there'll be plenty of solder there for it to kind of live. We're going to go for this. Keep your solder pick in your hand. Dude, I wish you guys could see from this angle, because this is the angle you guys need to see from. All right, Juanitosville, I know. I've been working, well, you guys don't know. Through the magic of television, we made this happen as fast as possible. We have, I hope you can see there, you can see some air. I can see some air underneath that piece of the bezel. And right here at this seam. So we got 3 places here where you can see air coming through. And for the first time, I'm gonna use this piece of copper as my genius wire, which is gonna insulate it from the block. And I've been doing this a little bit lately, and it's been kind of working out. I hope my hand isn't going to be all in the way. I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to look through this. I'm going to go directly from the top. Let's see, you guys with me? I'm looking at the pieces of bezel on the inside, or pieces of solder. Okay, they're starting to respond. Big circles. Press, 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 press. I just did a little press. Everything's looking good. Looking around, looking around, looking around. Not convinced about this side just because I wasn't looking at it. Just keep working. Focusing on this outside. Okay, the solder did run. I press, let go, boom. Alright, dudes. So that's pretty much it. Be active in the process. If it's set perfect, you can just heat it and it'll just kind of just. But if it's not perfect, you're gonna have to be active with your solder pick and just boom. Fine silver melts at a higher temperature than sterling silver, so it'll give you grace, but you also have to remember that this is very thin, so you can melt these bezels. And I've done it a couple times, and it always ruins my day. But that's pretty much it right there, friends. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Please, if you're a newcomer, subscribe. If you're an old timer, thank you for hanging around, and give me some ideas for some other videos, friends. I've done so many, and maybe I just need some advice and maybe some inspiration. Give me some ideas of a video that you'd like to see us try something. Even if it's a video maybe I've already done. Rivets, hinges. If you guys would like to see me do a live of making a hinge or doing some rivets, I'll be happy to do that. You guys can see the way that I do it with the rudimentary tools that I have, because I don't have a rivet. I don't have a stinger. Robert Lopez, I don't have a stinger. It's a rivet machine that Robert Lopez made. I would like to have one, but I still do it old school, probably the way you would do it. And I even do it sometimes with a nail. So if you guys have any ideas of what you would like to see, you let me know, man. We'll make it happen. Now, I was telling you guys about the wire solder you can put against the edge and won't create a mess. You can see there's a little bit of a mess inside that, guys. It doesn't look very pretty. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of backing on this stone to cushion it a little bit, and but you can go through with a tool and get those out, get them nice and flat. I mean, it looks worse than it is, but I think if you use the wire solder, I think it'll be a cleaner look. So that's what I would recommend. I don't have any, otherwise that's what I'd use, but sometimes when you got to do what you got to do with what you got. So I don't know if I'm going to use leveling clay or if I'm going to use backing like I talk about in this video that I got, the idea that I got from Chad Parker. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it, friends. I would go 24 to 28 gauge, 28 at the lightest. And if you're going to do a castellated bezel or something thicker, and you have strong hands or you have a good tool to really burnish, you can go, 22 gauge, 24 gauge. You can do whatever you want. There's different ways to thin out the very top. You can thin out the top lip of the bezel so that it's thinner at the top. And when I say that, I mean get a flat file and just give it one of these If it's a thick bezel, you can give it one of these all the way around and dome the top of the bezel by thinning the metal at the very, very top. Make sure it's nice and smooth at the very, very top, because sometimes when you do that, makes it a little bit bumpy. So make sure you put it on its face on some 600 grit maybe, and sand it nice and flat after you bevel, and then you put your stone in there. You're going to have a thin, very top lip of your thick bezel wire is going to be thin, and you'll be able to press it with your burnisher and get a nice setting around your stone using a thicker gauge backplate. Maybe I'll do a video and we'll talk about that. But this is really for those of you who are trying to just get a bezel down and do one bezel and just build on your success. Because once you do it one time, you'll do it again and you'll do it again. Before you know it, you'll be pretty good at it. And that's really the goal of any skill development on these videos. So, you know, guys, happy Thanksgiving out there. Hug your loved ones. Make sure you're washing your hands. There's a lot of crud going on out there. You want to make sure you're staying healthy and having good hygiene. Yeah, eat some food, eat some turkey. I can't wait to have some enchiladas. We're going to have green chili. My dad's making my grandma's beans recipe for her beans. You know, grandma's beans. Everybody loves grandma's beans, guys. All right, guys, so I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. You hang in there, and I will be coming back and making more videos. Please, in the comments, put a video or an idea or a tip that you would like to see me do. If you've seen me do it before, or if you haven't seen me, or maybe you don't want to go back into the archives and look at videos I've done in the past, you let me know and I'll do one for you guys. And I'll shout you out, the person who gave the suggestion. And yeah, talk to me over on Instagram, dudes. You guys know where to find me. It's right here at Boom Jewelry Designs. And I hope to connect with you guys. And I love it when we share, we trade. We're doing art trades. We're trading jewelry tools for stones, and we're just, you know, creating community out here, guys. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's Boom Jewelry Designs, and I'm Benny Boom, and I'm out. Peace.